You're listening to Puma Podcast.
I remember on the second day of the police operations, I'm sure you heard that there was a barricade. So on the second day of the barricade, it was during the dispersal. It was really like a mayhem, and some members of the media, Davao media, were even harassed by the KOJC members. We were told that we were bayaran, we are biased for how we reported the KOJC incident. So it was my first time to cover such a big incident. You could see a lot of members resisting the police officers, and you could also see the persistence of the police officers to uh, dismantle the barricade. So it was total mayhem for me that day.
On August 24, 2024, some 2,000 policemen were deployed to the sprawling 30-hectare Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City. It marked another attempt, the most robust yet, to serve outstanding arrest warrants for Apollo Kibuloy, a doomsday preacher, mass media figure, and staunch Duterte ally wanted on charges of child abuse, sexual abuse, and trafficking. He was taken into police custody 16 days later on September 8. In this episode, reporters on the ground take us inside the manhunt. I interviewed Minda News reporter Antonio Colina and photojournalist Manman Dejeto on September 3, the 11th day of the search. I'm Bella Perez Rubio, Puma Podcast, and you're listening to Teka Teka.
I'm actually at a cafe right now, very close to the KOJC, because I just got back from a press conference at the police regional office at the Camp Cantin Merecido.
That's Antonio Colina, or RA for short. He covers governance, politics, and human rights for Minda News.
And we had obtained latest updates on Kibuloy, and we had the chief, the regional police chief, saying that there is no let up in the police operations since day one until now, and he's trying to beef up the confidence of these men because it's been more than a week since they started the operations. So what he assured his people is that he will take full responsibility for all the possible legal liabilities that the other party may find against the police as an organization and the other government officials who are involved in the police operations.
What's the atmosphere like on the ground? What are police actually doing inside the compound?
For the first few days of the police operations, the media weren't allowed to enter. Even up to now, we are not allowed inside the KOJC compound. So what we have right now are just what the police the police commanders and the KOJC councils have shared with us. So what it's like now inside the KOJC, still the police officers, there are a lot of them inside the KOJC compound. And we've received some complaints from the KOJC members, and according to them, there are certain places within the compound the police prevented them from going inside. Like for example, it's really a big issue for them when the police officers disallowed them from entering the cathedral, especially when they just had celebrated their 39th founding anniversary last Sunday. And what we've heard from the councils of the KOJC, they asked the police officers to allow them inside, even just for a day, inside the cathedral, because that's where customarily or traditionally it is in the cathedral where they celebrated the anniversary. But for the police officers, they were saying that they have to secure the place because it is one of the areas where they have yet to complete the search, because they in the previous days they found some secret rooms, that's according to them, and also the JMC. So
That's the
still,
Jose Maria
if you
College,
ask
the
me,
school
what
attached
is
to the
like
KOJC.
and for the police also, they're saying that they need the presence of the police officers in the compound are not Their presence is not intended to terrorize or to harass the members, but only to seek to maintain peace and security, peace and order inside the compound.
Would you have an idea of how many people are inside the compound right now? Are there still over 1,000, close to 2,000 police officers inside? And how many members are inside roughly?
This morning in a press conference, we asked General Torre as to how many exactly police officers were deployed inside the KOJC or around the KOJC. And he couldn't tell us exactly how many because it's part of the tactical operations. But in the previous days, the PRO informed us that there were roughly 2,000 police officers deployed at the moment.
Okay, but not sure how many inside the compound and how many KOJC members are also simultaneously inside the compound. Parang walang rough estimate.
Yeah.
Would you know what else the police who are inside the compound are permitted to do? Arrest Pastor Kibuloy, or are they also allowed to search for more evidence?
It's actually just limited to locating the pastor because, as repeatedly said by General Torre, they are not looking or they're not fishing for evidence against Tibuloy. What they're after is that just to arrest Pastor Tibuloy. So they're not looking for any evidence inside the KOJC. They're not even armed with a search warrant. What they have is the arrest warrant, and on the basis of the arrest warrants issued by the courts, they are searching inside the KOJC. But as to whether they are looking for evidence, no.
And then I also read that some police officers say that they believe Pastor Kibuloy is underground, right? Like they used certain technology and they were able to detect a heartbeat underground. Could you talk a bit more about that? Explain to us.
Yeah. For several days, they've been using the ground penetrating device. They're using that in some structures of the KOJC compound, specifically the cathedral and the Jose Maria College. According to them, they detected a heartbeat underground. According to the police officers, indicate that there are some underground facilities beneath the buildings.
How much longer do you think the raid is gonna go on? I've heard some officers say that until they find him, they're going to keep going. But as someone who's on the ground, does it feel like this could stretch on for more weeks, more months, until the end of the year?
The police actually don't want to be limited as to the timeline. In fact, just a few days ago in another press conference, General Alba said that there's no specific timeline as to when they can finish the search inside the KOJC. For as long as they could search the area to arrest Tubuloy, the search will continue.
KOJC members have accused cops of planting and tampering with evidence in the compound while conducting their search. Police leadership denied this allegation. We get into how the Marcos Duterte feud has affected efforts to bring Kibuloy to justice after a quick break.
Has President Duterte said anything since the raid started? If not President Duterte, his camp.
Since the raid started, I'm not sure if the former president has said anything about the raid, about this latest raid, but in the previous raid, he condemned actually the operations of the police. And according to him, there was abuse of power in the implementation of the arrest warrants. But during the celebration of the KOJC's 39th anniversary, the vice president was there, and she also assured members of her support during this time.
Pero sa ngayon, hinihingi ko lang ang patawad ninyo na nagkamali ako.
We know that this is all happening, simultaneously with the ongoing feud between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. There are other investigations going on, like the Pogos, the reopening of the drug war investigation in the House. We're seeing Vice President Duterte's contentious exchanges with lawmakers over her budget. So, as someone who's covering this issue closely in particular, do you see it as part of this larger context? How do you process what's happening in this story that you're covering and how it's simultaneously occurring with everything else?
For me, this issue has been politicized because we know that the Duterte family is a supporter of Pastor Kibuloy, and the relationship between Kibuloy and the Duterte family goes back a long way back. During the time when the former president was still mayor of Davao City. Yeah, I think the KOJC incident adds more fuel to the fire.
Here's what President Marcos had to say in response to the VP, making it clear that their working relationship has crumbled entirely.
It's her prerogative. I still don't understand why, but that is her wish. Wala tayong magkakaroon.
So wala na kayong communication ng Vice President?
No, not at all. Not at all. The last time I spoke to her was when she handed me her resignation.
Here's Mindanew's photojournalist Manman Deheto.
The compound is not really near the downtown area. It's near the airport. But during the initial days of this whole incident, nasarado yung highway. So there was really disruption sa movement ng mga tao and even the airport. But after the first 5 days, it's back to normal for the rest of the city.
Or are you hearing anything? Is there any major public reaction, response, or are people just quiet and going about their business? Because I would think that something like this would be shocking, right?
Actually, there are a lot of Dabaweños who want Kibuloy put under the custody of the court. Although you're correct in saying that Kibuloy enjoys so much attention from the people here. I think that's because many of his followers are also Dabaweños. But there are also several Dabaweños who want him arrested.
Socially, culturally, do you have any idea of how this manhunt and this whole legal pursuit of Kibuloy in general has been received by Dabaweños who feel his power and influence most acutely? How are people responding?
For supporters of the Dutertes, of course, Kibuloy, they really are voicing out that this is an overkill. There's too much police presence. This has been going on for close to 2 weeks now.
This manhunt for Kibuloy can be read as another proxy war in the ongoing rivalry between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. This feud has spilled over onto budget deliberations and the ongoing investigation of the drug war as well, to name a few. And its impact goes far beyond the two dynasties. It even goes beyond politics. Everyday Filipinos are already paying the price.
But if you look at it from the business side also, this has a lot of effect because if someone wants to go to Davao, they might think that now's not the right time to be here. There's concerns about security and what else can happen. And it's very near the airport. It's a gateway to the city, and if there would be more violence that comes up in the next few days, then it will definitely affect the arrival and the coming and going of people inside the city to the airport. There was a statement from the Davao Chamber of Commerce that it's really affecting the image of the city already for the business people. Medyo nagkakaroon na din siya ng effect for the business sector.
As we mentioned at the top of this episode, this robust manhunt ended with Kibuloy in police custody after 16 days. Many of the details are still unclear as of this publishing. We'll return soon with a full story covering Kibuloy's case and what happens next. Again, I'm Bella Perez Rubio. If you found this story interesting, why not share it with a friend or two? Pidoy Blanco edited this episode. Our executive producer is Jill Caro, and our editor-in-chief is Carl Javier. Thanks for listening.